Let's say that we have a recipe that calls for 3 parts salt to 1 part garlic powder. Let's say it's a recipe for a dry rub for meat. What that's saying is that for every part of garlic powder that we use 3 parts, 3 times as much salt. So here's the garlic powder and the salt. And the problem, maybe for our problem, we are asked if we use 4 cups of garlic powder. Oh, maybe not in cups, because garlic powder, maybe small teaspoons. Let's say spoons of garlic powder. How much salt do we need? So we're using 4, let's just say spoons of garlic powder. What that's saying is that how much garlic powder do we have? 4. Right here. Well, 1 part garlic powder to 3 parts salt. That means that this is 4. Every part is the same. So if you're using 4 spoons of garlic powder, how much salt are we using? Well, 12. Because 4 plus 4 plus 4. So 4 spoons of garlic powder, 12 spoons of salt. That's it. Now, there are many ways you can explain this. In your homework assignment, you will have to explain it. Now, in math, we can use this to help us set up a proportion. To give us more space, I'll remove the question. The proportion might look like this. We know that 1 part of garlic powder is 4 spoons. So 3 parts of salt is how much? Many spoons of salt. This is 2 fractions that equal. So this is called a proportion. A proportion is just 2 fractions being equal to each other. How do we solve this? One way to do it is 1 times 3 is 3, so we have to multiply by 3 here. 4 times 3 is 12. That's the answer. So that's where the proportion comes from. In this problem, so that again 12 is the answer. In this problem, we have a part-to-part ratio. We're using, but not every problem uses part-to-part ratio. Here's another example. Let's say the recipe calls for 3 parts salt to 2 parts sugar. Okay. That's the recipe. 3 parts salt to 2 parts sugar. We want 10 ounces total of seasoning. So seasoning is just salt and sugar together. So 10 ounces total. That's what we want. So the ratio is 3 parts salt to 2 parts sugar. We want 10 ounces. Let me make this more clear. 10 ounces in total. How much salt do I need? This is a part-to-whole problem. The last one's part-to-part because we have a total right here. That's why I have a 3rd column. Well, we can think of it this way. If we have 3 parts salt and 2 parts sugar, then the total has to be 5 parts in total. 3 plus 2. 5 parts in total. So how much salt, how much sugar do we need? Well, 5 times 2 is 10. That means that we have to multiply each of these by 2. When we do that, we get 4 ounces of sugar and 6 ounces of salt. So the question asks, how much salt do we need? Well, we need 6 ounces. This is called a ratio table, made a table. If you want to set up a proportion equation, what's happening? Well, we know this is equal. 5 parts in total, 10. And we know that what we're looking for is this one, so we don't know this one. This one we don't know. And we know it's 3 parts salt. So that's the equation. We didn't need this part. We can set up an equation for this one if we want, but since we're looking for the salt, all we need is this equation. This time we can recognize that we multiply by 2, so we multiply by 2, and that's why the answer is 6. I know that some of you might be thinking, hey, I know how to solve these by cross-multiplying. We will do that in the next video. We want to understand why we cross-multiply first, so that we don't make any mistakes. Okay, so that's it for this one.